Hi, it's me Jacqueline. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to the channel, then please subscribe my channel and visit my Patreon page, link in the description.
Vanessa and I shot Becky a look. I was ready to protest, but Becky signaled for me to be quiet. We could not believe that Becky had the nerve to take credit for our work, especially after she spent the last hour talking on the phone. Mrs. Streichler was delighted that the two were working together. It reminded her of her and her sister. Okay, you can go to the movies. Thank you, Becky said, with a little bounce. I can't afford for us to eat out, so you will have to start dinner, she told Becky. Me? Why not Bobby, Sue? Becky continued to complain. He hadn't done anything all day. I need to talk to Bobby, Mom stated. But Mom cut her off with the stop signal, raising her hand in front of Becky's face. Vanessa, you should go ask your mother if you can go to the movies tonight. She looked back at Becky, baked the chicken strips and fries. Then she looked at me. I need to talk to you. Vanessa stepped up to me and whispered, I'll see you soon. Becky walked away mumbling, thinking it wasn't right that she had to cook dinner. She didn't think it was right that her mom shoved her hand in her face. She didn't think it was right that Bobby got away with everything. Bobby, we can talk in my room. Mom motioned for me to follow her. Her bedroom was larger than mine. However, she had a queen-sized bed, and like my room, the bed took up most of the floor space. Sit next to me, she told me, patting the bed. I tucked my skirt as I sat. I went to cross my legs, but because of the height of the bed, sitting with my legs crossed was uncomfortable. I switched my posture to hold my knees together and cross my ankles, but that felt awkward. I was not sure how to sit. When I noticed Mom watching me, I realized I was acting girlish. I did not want her to get the wrong idea. She thought she was punishing me by making me wear girls' clothes. She had no idea that I was enjoying myself. I thought about sitting like a boy with my legs spread apart, so she wouldn't get the wrong idea about me. Mrs. Streichler decided to give Bobby Sue a hint. She crossed her legs, even though she was wearing slacks, and adjusted herself to lean on one hand. She sat facing Bobby Sue. Bobby mirrored her actions, not realizing that he had followed her lead until after he saw he was sitting like her. Bobby Sue, I need to talk to you, she paused. She thought to herself, Bobby Sue is my daughter, and she needs to know. I want to talk to you about lovemaking. Mom. I blushed. You're a teenager, and I cut her off. No way. I stood to leave. The thought of having the lovemaking talk with her was a total embarrassment. Mom pulled me back down. Bobby, I should have had this talk with you months ago. We're going to have it now. Mom, I don't need to talk. They taught us in health class. Bobby, we're having the talk. She held onto my arm. And sit properly. I crossed my legs and adjusted my skirt. I felt uneasy and trapped. I know in school they went over the physical aspect of the male and female body and the act of procreation, lovemaking. Mom, really, I know. Bobby Sue, Mom cut in, her tone authoritative. I just don't. I was intent on getting out of the conversation. Mom raised her hand in front of my face. Don't interrupt me again. I heard her command. Sorry. I decided that I would sit and pretend to listen. When she was done talking, I would get out of her room. Bobby Sue, it is important for a girl to understand more than how a baby is created. There is much more to dating. First, teenage boys have one-track minds. All they think about is romance. I thought about her statement that boys only think about romance. I felt that was inaccurate. I did not always think about romance. I tried to remember what I thought the other day when Vanessa stood in front of me in her underwear. I didn't think about romance. I remembered being scared. I remembered that I was amazed by her figure and at how soft and smooth her skin looked. I remembered that I did want to touch her, but I did not think about romance. I started to have doubts about myself. Maybe I wasn't normal. Any real boy would have tried to do something romantic with her. It is true that romance was a common subject in the boys' restroom at school. It is also true that a real boy would never wear girls' clothes, let alone enjoy doing so. I knew I was not normal. I had wondered if I was different. Then I thought if I was, I would think about romance with boys. But I had never thought about that. I had never really thought about romance at all. My thoughts of Vanessa were more about being close friends, which was confusing. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Mom asked. I had not heard much of what she said. Yeah. Now, Becky started taking the pill at your age, but I don't see any reason for you to take it. You can't become pregnant, nor will you be troubled by cramps. I did stop at the drugstore. Mom picked up her purse and pulled out a packet of protection. I'm not encouraging anything at your age. I'm just being practical. If you find yourself. I could see she was starting to have problems discussing this with me. Well, you know, if the boy did not bring any of his own, then she placed the packet in my hand. I sat dumbfounded. This wasn't about Mom worrying that Vanessa and I were getting too close. She thought I was going to be with a boy. Make sure they wear it, even. Again, she struggled to say the words. She felt the talk had gone easier with Becky. It was natural to tell Becky how boys were pigs and how they sniffed around like dogs, only wanting one thing. She couldn't say that to her son. She looked at me in my skirt, sitting with my legs crossed, which she noticed were hairless and smooth. She realized I had shaved my legs. She also saw that I had shaved my armpits and that my nails were painted. Her little boy was becoming a young lady, even with, well, other things. You can still get an infection that way. Another thing, you can never trust a boy. A boy will say that he will stop before, you know. Don't trust them. They won't. Mom looked at me, waiting to hear what I had to say. My first thought was, Mom, gross, yuck. I sat dumbfounded and uncomfortable, not knowing how to respond to her. I needed to escape, to get out of these clothes. I needed my life to go back to the way it was. Mrs. Streichler was a little puzzled by Bobby Sue's silence. Becky had many questions. They talked for hours, even discussing the pill. It dawned on her that Bobby Sue might feel uneasy asking about it. I know I said there wasn't a reason for you to take the pill, because you can't get pregnant. However, it does help some girls with their complexion. If you want, I can see what the doctor has to say. She stroked Bobby Sue's hair. I did not understand why she thought I would want to take the pill or be involved with a boy. I sat in silence. I opened my mouth and closed it without uttering a sound. She saw my reluctance to talk. You do know you can come to me with anything. If you have a question or a problem, I'm here for you. With her fingers, she combed my bangs back and kissed me on the forehead. I love you, and I am very proud of you. I looked up at her. She could see the tears forming. Not knowing what I should do, I went with what felt natural. Can I go? I wanted to leave before I started to cry. I did not want to be seen crying. Mrs. Streichler did not want me to leave. She wanted to have a heart-to-heart conversation. She felt it was important that I share what I was feeling. Not yet. Do you want to tell me something? Something you feel is important. Before answering, I used the back of my hands to wipe the tears from my eyes. No. Thinking, you don't want to know the truth. Mrs. Streichler smiled, working hard to suppress the giggle inside her. I'm sorry. It's just that you have raccoon eyes. Huh. I did not understand her statement. Then I noticed the black streaks on the back of my hands. Tears and mascara don't mix. Mom took my hands and tugged me to stand. Look in the mirror. I stood. Looking in her mirror, I could see she was right. My eyes had large black rings like a raccoon. However, I didn't find it funny. Ugh. Honey. She turned me around to face her. It's okay. It's no big deal. We can fix it. That was when I started to cry. Mom pulled me in and held me. We stood that way for a short time until I quit crying. I'm sorry. I stood up straight and used the palms of my hands to wipe the tears from my eyes. When I saw the black streaks on my palms, I muttered again, ugh. It's okay. There's no reason to be upset. We can fix it. She lifted my chin. I can have you looking nice in no time. Mom, I don't want to look nice. That was a lie. I didn't want to wish to look nice. Can I change? She looked confused. Honey, what's wrong? Nothing. Can I change? Not until you tell me what's wrong. She held my arm so I couldn't walk away. I wanted to yell at her to let me go, but I could never disrespect her. Nothing. Honey, I think you need to tell me. She gave my arms a small squeeze. I did not want to hear the words aloud. I looked Mom in the eyes and made my proclamation. I like looking nice. Of course you do, dear. All girls like to look nice. Mom, I'm not a girl. I'm a boy. I shouldn't want to look nice. You. She looked at me and smiled. You're my child and I love you. If you want to look nice, then that is who you are. I didn't know how to respond. Her words made me feel better. I thought about how Vanessa was treating me and now Mom, and I smiled. Mom fiddled with my hair. Let's get you cleaned up. You can't be going to the movies with raccoon eyes, she said with a small giggle. I'll go change. Why? You look great in that outfit. I didn't think I was going to the movies like this. Do you prefer the green dress? I mean in a dress like this. I can't leave the house looking like this. Sure you can, dear. You look very nice. Mom, if kids find out, my life would be over. I could never show my face in school again. She did not want to cause problems for Bobby, but she felt it was necessary for him to go out as Bobby Sue. I understand. I'll tell you what, I'll take you to the IMAX theater. That's halfway across town. You shouldn't run into anyone from school. She gave me a questioning look. Is that okay? Why must I wear a dress? You can wear the skirt. You know what I mean. Why can't I wear jeans and a t-shirt? Because you're being punished. That wasn't her real reason, but she had determined earlier that Bobby would set the limits of his actions. If he truly did not want to go to the movies as a girl, he would do more than whine. He would refuse. I slumped my shoulders, rolled my eyes, and sighed. Her comment made no sense. I could go to the movies, but since I was still being punished, I had to go in a dress. Never mind, I'll stay home. She felt my comment was more of a complaint than a refusal. She pushed me, wanting a real refusal. I think it's too late to change your mind. Becky and Vanessa are looking forward to going out. You're stuck. It was clear I wasn't going to change her mind. Okay, if I'm stuck. The three of us sat in the back seat. When I climbed in first, I thought Becky was going to sit in the front seat, but Vanessa and Becky got in on opposite sides, squeezing me in the center. At first, I was annoyed with Becky, but then I found being stuck in the center comforting. I felt safe. What became annoying was how Becky kept pushing me against Vanessa, telling me to slide over. Vanessa enjoyed the fact that Bobby Sue was close. She casually rested her hand on my leg. She found the touch of my smooth skin pleasant. She had the urge to gently brush my thigh, but thought it would be inappropriate with Becky sitting next to us. Mrs. Streichler stopped the car in the drop-off zone in front of the theater. Here you go, girls. Becky, do you have the phone? Yes, I got it. Call when the movie is over. Pick us up at the ice cream shop. Becky pointed down the strip mall. Okay. I wanted to protest, but Becky had already closed the door. Mom pulled away, leaving the three of us standing outside the theater. I was afraid to move. I surveyed the entrance, which was a crowd of teenagers. They were all talking, laughing, and having a good time. We stood in silence. I was relieved that I did not recognize anybody. Do you want to stick together, or do you two want to be alone? Becky asked while looking at the entrance. We can stick together, I said. Vanessa took my hand. You can go. Maybe I should leave you two lovebirds alone. Becky was looking beyond us. She had already mentally dismissed us. Just go. I didn't know why I should want her with me. If you two don't want me around, that is fine with me. Becky walked away. Vanessa and I got in the ticket line. I felt like every person was staring at me. My stomach started to hurt. My legs became weak. I thought I was going to be sick. Are you okay? Vanessa asked. I took a deep breath, trying to rid myself of the feeling of being on display. Yeah, I'm fine. I just wish this line would move. While I was talking to Vanessa, I noticed two teenage boys staring at me. The boys looked to be our age. One was tall and slender with long, dirty blonde hair. He had an unkempt look, with his shirt hanging out of the baggy pants he wore. The other boy was average, with brown hair parted on the side. He wore a striped button-down shirt with the sleeves scrunched up his arms. They turned away when they saw I caught them looking at me. I pulled my hand away from Vanessa's, self-conscious about what I was doing and the way I looked. I was afraid that they could tell I was a boy. I also wished I had worn a longer skirt and a less revealing top, no longer wanting to look pretty. I just wanted to blend in and disappear. Vanessa looked at me when I pulled my hand away. I whispered to her, those boys were staring at me. Vanessa looked in the direction I nodded. Those two by the door? Yeah. The boys turned their heads to study me some more. The thought, they know, repeated in my head. I was reaching a state of near panic. The boys smiled. I took that to be the start of my humiliation. They nodded their heads, saying hi. I thought they were flirting with me. I looked away, embarrassed at having a boy flirt with me. Vanessa continued to look at them. Great, they're coming over, Vanessa stated. She had hoped that her date with Bobby Sue would be uninterrupted. Oh, God, what are we going to do? I whispered, sliding behind Vanessa slightly. Both boys read Bobby Sue's action as the cute one being shy. That boosted their confidence. They each proclaimed to the other, she's mine. Then, being the teenagers they were, they playfully punched each other in the arm and stated, "Owe me a Coke." The unkempt one pointed to his friend. Mine. Becky walked up behind us. What dorks. I felt better having Becky by my side. When the boys turned their attention back to the girls, they discovered a new girl. It was clear to them that she was the cute one's older sister. They slowed to a stop. Older sisters were always bad luck and trouble. Becky gave the boys a look, which they read loud and clear, "Get lost." The boys, defeated, turned and walked away. Thanks, sis. I owe you. Vanessa did not like that Becky had ruined her opportunity to be the hero. I was going to handle them. It's always fun to scare little boys. Both heard the delight in Becky's voice. I forgot to give you your money. Becky handed me a $10 bill. Thanks, I forgot about it. Without thinking, I went to stick the money in my front pocket. Not having any pockets or anywhere to stow the money, I stood holding it in my hand. Do you want me to stick around until after you get your snacks? Yeah, that would be nice. I felt safer with her by my side. Not happy, Vanessa stated, if you want. She felt it would have been easier to get rid of the dorky boys. I see you need a purse, Becky told me. Really, I stated in agreement. As soon as I'd said it, I felt that it sounded different from what I intended. I meant I needed something to hold my money. I could tell by the expression on Becky's face that she read my statement as, yes, I need a purse. Becky affirmed, every girl needs a purse. I could not tell if she was teasing me. Now I know what Aunt Monica can get you for your birthday, Becky stated. I did not respond. I figured out what she was trying to do. She was trying to get me to make a scene. I was not going to play. I glanced over to see if the boys were looking at me. Vanessa noticed Bobby Sue's action. She became a little jealous and hurt. Her date with Bobby Sue was not going well. She had this romantic idea of what a date should be like. Older sisters and cute boys were not part of that idea. She took hold of Bobby Sue's hand. We stood in the line holding hands. I wished we were not holding hands. I did not want people to look at us and make assumptions or see what I really was. I relaxed some after I saw other girls holding hands. But I also had to admit that my first thought was that they might be a couple. After we purchased the tickets, we got in the concession line. Vanessa again took my hand. Becky kept looking around. Why don't you two go get us seats and I'll bring the snacks? I did not want to leave her side. I could see she was concerned. However, I could not shake the notion that everyone was looking at me. Being under the bright lobby lights made me feel exposed. I knew any second I would be discovered. Are you sure? Vanessa did not mind leaving Becky behind. Okay, thanks. She tugged my hand. Let's go.
Please subscribe for the next part and visit my Patreon page for early access.